What's going on, guys, and welcome to my FIFA 16 demo first impressions video. Yes, the demo is now available to download on the PSN store in the UK, so if you have yourself a PS4 and you want to go and check it out, head on over to the PSN store. You should be able to locate it pretty quickly. I do believe it's on the homepage when you open up the PSN store, so if you've got yourself a PS4, go on over to the PSN store. You should be able to find it, and you should be able to download it as well. I don't know where it's available on Xbox, as I don't own an Xbox. I think it will be, but either way, as of the 8th of September, it is available on the PSN store if you have yourself a PS4. Now in this video, I'm going to break down my review of the demo into different sections. We've got layout, presentation, the gameplay, which obviously has subsections as well, and then of course my final recap on what I think about the demo. Although the first thing I will say is that this is not the final build of FIFA 16, so please do bear that in mind. I'm reviewing the demo here, not what is going to be exactly in FIFA 16, because of course this isn't the final build, and it will most likely vary a little bit when the full game comes out. But anyway, first thing we'll talk about is the layout of the menus, which you just saw there. It's pretty much the same as FIFA 15. The color scheme is a little bit different. It's a little bit lighter. You can see the light blue there. Looks pretty nice, baby blue. But to be honest, it's pretty much the same thing. The layout isn't really too different. The menu screens aren't really too different. It's pretty much the same as FIFA 15 with a brighter color scheme, to be honest. You're not really going to find it too confusing when you load it up. You won't see too much different. As for presentation, well, it's pretty similar to FIFA 15 once again. Again, I will reiterate, this is not the final build, I know, so it could change and vary when the full FIFA 16 game comes out, but presentation is quite similar. This year, one thing they did announce was Tailor the Tape was going to be a feature for presentation in key games, and I would have thought this would have been considered a key game. This is Real Madrid versus Manchester City here at the Bernabeu. It is on Legendary, as I think I would mention in the title, and I would have thought that they'd have a tailor the tape for two players. I would have thought, you know, Aguero, for example, you know, a really awesome striker against Ronaldo could be an easy tailor the tape right there as a presentation right before the game, but there wasn't one shown. I've played a few games on the demo. I believe this was my 4th game, and you know, there was one for Barcelona versus Real Madrid, one for Real Madrid versus Chelsea, and I think it was Barcelona versus Chelsea I played as well, which also featured tailor the tape for players like Hazard and Messi and Ronaldo. But for City versus Real Madrid, for some reason there wasn't one, which I thought was kind of frustrating, because I would have considered this would be quite a big game in world football. Real Madrid versus Man City, you know, two big European sides, one of the biggest sides in England against one of the better sides in Spain as well. But obviously not, but fair enough. But yeah, the presentation is pretty similar, to be honest. It really is. There isn't really too much difference in the team layouts, team formation shown at the start of the game, for example, and the cinematics of the stadium, for example. It's pretty similar, nothing too major, and the animations of the players, again, nothing too major, and there you go. So presentation quite similar, layout quite similar, menu screens quite similar, so on and so forth. One thing you may have noticed as you see this gameplay straight away is that there are circles around my players right now. Now, this is the trainer feature which EA have introduced for FIFA 16. This isn't really too important if you're someone who's played the game quite a lot. If you're an experienced FIFA player and even an intermediate FIFA player, you're probably not going to use this feature at all. What I like about it is it's easily accessible and easy to turn off as well. Basically, to turn off this trainer feature, you just click in the right stick and you just press the R3 button, if you will, which is obviously clicking in the right stick, as I call it, and you know, it just goes away basically. And then to turn it on, you just press it again or click it again, and it comes back on again. Basically, as you can see, it's giving you sort of feedback on what you should be doing at a certain stage. You can see L1 to change player, square to slide tackle. When you get the ball back, it changes to offensive instructions, through ball for triangle, square for cross, X for pass, etc, etc, circle for shoot, whatever else. Basically, again, it's not really a big feature if you've played the game quite a lot. If you're an experienced FIFA player, you're really not going to get much out of it. It's mainly for the beginners out there that have never really played FIFA before, or maybe they're, you know, just again playing the game for the first time in a few years or whatever. It's something which, again, if you've played the game quite a lot, you're not really going to bother using it, and you'll probably just turn it off straight away, and I do turn it off during this game anyway. But I thought I'd keep it on just for the minute, just to show you what it is and what it does. So yeah, the trainer feature is the first thing I'll discuss right there. Again, it is quite cool for beginners. I suppose it will be kind of interesting and useful to use, but for those experienced players, not really worth talking about too much. Now, as for the gameplay in general, how does it feel? Well, it's okay. It's pretty similar to FIFA 15, as you'd expect. Once again, I will reiterate, this is not the final build, so it could vary as we go into the full game of FIFA 16, but it's okay. The movement is quite slick. When you have the ball at your feet, you feel like you've got more control over the players, which I really, really like. You feel as though instead of being like robotic in terms of your player movement, you're more agile with your players. You feel as though you can turn and get away from tight situations a little bit better. This is the first goal of the game I scored with Ronaldo, just going on the counter-attack as per usual FIFA style, going down the left-hand side, quick little fake Rabona, and cutting inside for the finesse shot. Pretty common goal, you'd see that in FIFA 15 quite a lot. Seems like it's the same in FIFA 16. But yeah, when you got the ball, you do feel like you've got a little bit more control over your players, which I really do like. In FIFA 15 and in previous FIFAs, it always felt like it was a little bit robotic. When you had the ball, you really couldn't turn and get yourself out of tight situations all the time. You felt as though the movement was a little bit sluggish. It does feel a little bit smoother this year. Not too significantly so. You still do feel as though it is more, I guess a little bit lethargic with some of your players, but with the more, you know, the better players in the game, for example, with Ronaldo, for example, you do feel as though you've got more control on the ball, which I guess would be considered more realistic. When you're using those far better players, you feel as though you have more control, you have more freedom to turn, it's a little bit better, and you feel like your players are a little bit more agile, which I think was quite important. As for passing and moving the ball, the one thing I would say with EA's game this year in FIFA 16, again, this is the demo, and like I said, it's not the final build, but the one thing I would say is, once again, it's a little bit of a letdown in terms of player movement off the ball. I still feel as though off the ball movement, off the ball runs from your teammates are still really, really subpar. They don't make the right runs, they don't make realistic runs. That's one of the major gripes I have with FIFA's games over the years, is that the players are so static off the ball. Yes, they will sometimes make good forward runs. That was a nice one from Ronaldo there to peel off the right back, Zabaleta, I think it was, but they're still quite static, especially when you're close to them. You know, it does feel as though, unless you're actually directing them to make runs with the L1 button when you're controlling your player on the ball, it feels as though they're not really going to be moving into the right areas where you can play a killer through ball and try and open up the defense. That's something which, again, in previous FIFAs always really did gripe me, really did irk me a little bit. Never really felt as though the off the ball movement was very, very good, and it does seem quite similar in this year's FIFA. But passing isn't too bad. You can move the ball around quite nicely. If you are using some decent passing players, you can obviously have a bit of nice free-flowing build-up. That's pretty cool. And then again, the off-the-ball movement is a little bit disappointing in my opinion, but the passing's not too bad. And there you go. As for goalkeepers this year, well, one of the really big issues with FIFA 15 was that goalkeepers were just absolutely terrible on, you know, at so many stages in a game, a goalkeeper would make a mistake. They were very, very poor. This year, I think they're a little bit better. I have to say that one of the really big things about FIFA 15, which was disappointing with goalkeepers, is that they dropped catches quite a lot. They got caught in no man's land quite a lot. Basically, goalkeepers' aerial ability in FIFA 15 was very, very poor indeed. They always seem to get caught in no man's land quite often, especially for corners. They come and try and claim the ball and they just drop it straight at the feet of a striker. It was pretty infuriating, to be honest, to know that regardless of what ability your goalkeeper had, they would make quite a lot of mistakes. This year, when it comes down to crosses, they seem much more intelligent. As you can see, Navas gets the ball away there with a nice little palm. It seems as though they actually know when to go for a catch and when to go for a punch. Their aerial ability, in my opinion, has definitely improved from the games I've played regardless. I haven't seen any goalkeepers make a mistake yet or anything in the air regardless, and that does seem a lot better. So I think this year, when it comes down to crosses and putting them into the box, goalkeepers will be a lot more confident. They'll be a lot better at just holding onto the ball or just palming it away. So goalkeepers do seem a little bit better. As for their save styles, again, not too different to FIFA 15, but I think they are a little bit more intelligent with what sort of style of save they'll go for. They seem as though they're not going to be sort of diving over the ball or under the ball. In FIFA 15, sometimes you shoot to the top corner and you'd see Joe Hart or Navas or Casillas or whatever goalkeeper you've got sort of dive underneath the ball, and they wouldn't sort of dive towards it. It'll be pretty frustrating, but this year they seem a little bit more intelligent. They seem as though they're a little bit more competent in goal when facing shots as well, which I think is really important, because goalkeepers last year, they made FIFA so infuriating at times, but I think it is a little bit better. Now, in terms of defending this year, how does defending feel? Well, this year EA did have one of their taglines as defending as a unit this year, so you felt as though you had more control with your defensive players. I have to say, I do definitely feel it's a little bit improved. I feel as though the players you're controlling at the back do have a little bit more confidence when you're facing attackers running at you. I feel as though you're not basically a little bit vulnerable and a little bit shaky at the back. You have more control over your defenders. They seem to stand up a little bit more. and they seem to be a lot more confident when dealing with attackers running at them one-on-one. Blocks and interceptions this year as well. I have to discuss that really quickly. Blocks and interceptions do seem a lot better too. Last year, it seemed as though players, when they go to block a shot or go to block a pass, they'd do it really in a really lethargic way. They'd be very, very slow reacting, going towards the ball. This year, they seem to intercept passes and through balls a lot more commonly. They never seem to just sort of watch the ball. Last year, if you basically played a cross-field ball across the pitch, a lot of the times the defending team, the players, would basically just watch the ball go past them. This year, they actually run out of position to try and intercept the ball in midair and whilst it's in flight. The tackling scheme seems a lot better as well. You can see I got a tackle there. Instead of all just pinging off the feet and going back to the opponent, it seems to get more control. Your defenders seem to get the ball back a lot more. So I think defending is a lot better this year. You do feel as though you have more control with your centre-backs and your full-backs as well, and I suppose your defensive midfielders as well. And also the interceptions and the blocks this year seem a lot better. They seem to know exactly what they're doing and where they should be positioned. So positioning, interceptions, blocks seem a lot better this year, and I think that's definitely been improved on with EA. So really, really pleased with that. And that's basically the gameplay, to be honest. The defending, the attacking, the movement, you know, there are some good parts, there are some bad parts. I definitely feel as though the off-the-ball movement, I discussed it a minute ago, is something which really isn't that great. And again, I will reiterate, I said it a couple of times, I'll say it again, this isn't the final build, so I know it could be improved by the time the FIFA 16 full game does come out, but I still feel as though that is really disappointing, and that's why it does feel still quite similar to FIFA 15 in certain ways. But yeah, the goalkeepers definitely feel a lot better. You can see Navas making a pretty good save there. Goalkeepers seem a lot more confident too. You can see with crosses into the box as well, defenders seem like they're a lot better positioned too. They never seem to lose their markers like they used to do in previous FIFAs. A lot of the time you'll see a man marking system in the game when defending corners and set pieces, and you just see the attacking player just run around the back of your defender, and he just wouldn't react. This year you seem like you got a lot more control over that, and you seem like you won't be able to lose your marker quite a lot when defending set pieces. So I think defensively this year it will be a little bit better. It won't be like an arcade system where basically the opponent players will just be able to get the back get running around the back of you, and you won't be able to keep up. You feel as though you do have more control defending set pieces and just defending general play as well. When it comes down to pace, something which we do talk about every now and then, I have to say I do believe that this year pace is obviously still going to be a hugely important factor, as it always is in FIFA, but I try to beat players on one-on-one situations just by using pace and holding the right trigger in this demo, and I couldn't really do it very successfully. You saw Ronaldo a couple of times in this game struggle to beat fullbacks on one-on-one situations unless I was using skill moves or a combination of 1-2s. It seems if you just want to try and run around the back of a player, you can't really do that in this demo. I couldn't really get past fullbacks quite often with Ronaldo in this game, for example. I tried it with Messi as well. Couldn't get the run on a fullback or a centre-back or a defensive midfielder or anyone that was marking my attacking player unless I did use some 1-2s or some skill moves as well. That's pretty important because in FIFA 15 it seemed as though if you just had a quick player, you could just run around someone pretty easily and get yourself inside for a chance to cross or shoot. Regardless, that's the gameplay, and my final thoughts on the demo really is that it's good. It's pretty good. You know, the gameplay feels a little bit slicker. Once again, off the ball movements really, really subpar, sadly. Goalkeepers feel a little better though. Defending, I feel like you have more control as well. And as for things like layout and presentation, obviously pretty similar. They didn't really need to revamp that regardless. And there you go. But again, if you do have yourself a PS4, go ahead and go to the PSN store. You should be able to find a demo available for you to download if you do live in the UK. I'm sure over the next couple of days, if it's not available on Xbox right now or in certain regions, it will be available sooner rather than later. But these are my first impressions. If you have played the demo, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Maybe you guys disagree with what I said. Maybe you don't like how the game feels. I think it's a little bit better than last year's. Nothing too significant, but a little bit better. A few little different gameplay features which do give you a bit more control. But thanks for watching this video regardless. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed this demo first impressions video, then please do leave a like, as it is much appreciated. It really does help my channel out. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys thought about the demo if you've played it so far. And yeah, I'm looking forward to when this game comes out and making some more videos for you guys.